I'm Herbert the Cabin Boy. You're listening to Ship Shape in Bristol Fashion.
Ship shape in Bristol Fashion, boys, along the harbour side. From Avon Gorge to Underfall, we'll heave 'em over the line. Secure the barrels down below, bind 'em, tie 'em, lash 'em. This vessel, she is certified ship shape in Bristol Fashion.
Ahoy there, shipmates, and welcome to Ship Shape and Bristol Fashion. Welcome to episode 7, and I'm really pleased that you've joined us. This episode is going to be covering a very special event where the crew was invited to come along and celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Teenage Cancer Trust's unit in Bristol in the Oncology Centre, a unit dedicated to young people that are living with cancer and receiving incredible treatment. And the unit is a space that is supported by the Teenage Cancer Trust to ensure that they feel a home from home. And the crew was so honoured to come along and sing for them, knowing that we had raised so much money to enable this project and many others across the United Kingdom to function. If this is the first time that you've discovered our podcast, then welcome. This, of course, is episode 7. There are plenty of other episodes to listen to, so please do, however you found this episode, look back on our previous episodes, either on our website or on any good podcasting platform. You certainly will find a plethora of material from interviews with the crew and, of course, some songs to join in and sing along with. As we are now in the depths of a British summer, which we can probably tell by the amount of rain that keeps pouring, I hope you guys are finding some time off to enjoy some annual leave or some time with your family. The crew are very busy, as you can probably imagine, and then when we come back in September, we'll have some highlights of what's been going on during the summer months. But like I said, this episode is a special episode to really highlight the amazing work of the Teenage Cancer Trust. And we would really love you to just listen all the way through to the songs, of course, but there's some incredible speeches that really allow you to appreciate the work that the Teenage Cancer Trust applies to caring for and supporting the treatment for teenagers. It is absolutely incredible that every day that 7 young people aged between 13 and 24 hear those awful words that you have cancer. And they all need specialised nursing care to support them through the whole treatment process. In the United Kingdom, the Teenage Cancer Trust is the only UK charity dedicated to meeting this vital need, so no young person faces cancer alone. And we know that the Teenage Cancer Trust massively welcomes what we do within the Port of Bristol Shanty crew. We, of course, within the crew have connections with people that are living with and receiving treatment for varying different levels of cancer, but it's important to recognise that what we do is, of course, having fun and gathering and really highlighting the world of Shanty, but really the serious bit is to make some money. And what I'd like you to do now as you're listening to this and as you listen to the rest of this podcast is to think about, are you in a position to donate some money? This is really a kind of a call to action if you would be so kind to do so. And it doesn't matter how much or how little you give, but we would really love you to pop over to our website, and then there's a little link that says donate now, or donate here in fact, that allows you to go to our Just Giving website that shows you a lovely link that you can click on and donate. Now we know that we are looking very healthy. We've got £30,273 at the time of recording, but we are now aiming for 40,000, and we would really love you to just consider, as you listen to this podcast, some of the amazing work that is really clearly welcomed by everyone involved. And if you could possibly donate as much or as little as you possibly can, we would welcome that. So all you need to do is pop over to our website. It is in the show notes, and I will, of course, share this website with this episode, but if you're listening to it now, grab a pen and paper and you're looking to go over to pobshantycrew.co.uk. So whatever search engine, whatever web browser you use, type that in and you will then pop over to our website and you'll see, like I said, a button to donate. So let's listen to the audio from this very special event. Cancer Trust 10th anniversary celebration. I've managed to catch up with some of the crew, chaps. How you doing? We've got Art, we've got Nobby.
Yeah, well, it's great to have Art back with us.
Yes, you've had a bit of a time off, haven't you, buddy?
He's been up to Scotland.
We've been up to Scotland,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I asked him if he could find a growler up there, but
They don't do the north of Yorkshire. Had a brilliant time, absolutely super. The weather was great. There were no midges, there were no plagues, lots of friendly people, lots of wonderful food, and best of all, there were lots of wonderful distilleries.
Oh, very nice. And that's good for the pain, isn't it, I hear?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pain of the knee, it took it away completely.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's good.
The distilleries then. What's that then?
Gin, isn't it?
So, chaps, you must be so proud that, we as a crew have managed to raise £30,000 for this amazing charity.
Yeah.
And this is a good time to reflect on that, isn't it, really?
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. As I said at the beginning, £1,000 was a far stretch for us to make.
Oh,
but
yeah.
now, after 2 years, having made over £30,000 and still looking upwards to the future, to £40,000 in our next target, which we hope to attain in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
And we look forward to presenting that money to the Teenage Cancer Trust again, which is great.
It's going to be good. It's going to be, and of course, we know the charity will make use of that money. So if we keep fundraising, they'll keep spending, and most importantly, the youngsters will really benefit from it.
Yeah, we'll keep going and going and going until, I don't know, we reach 100 grand maybe, I don't know.
Hey, we'll just keep on going, eh?
Yeah, just keep on going, keep singing.
So long as the voices keep intact.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah, no, definitely.
Poor old Bill went by the wayside again, didn't he?
Sore throat after the weekend.
Yeah, he was shot away after pharmacy, no voice at all, did he?
He couldn't at all. Well, chaps, let's go and have some coffee and cake, because there's a big celebration going on here right now.
Indeed.
And I'll go and catch up with some more people.
Okay, nice to speak to you, Justin.
Everybody, we're ready to sing. Hard luck. Don't run away now. Right, if I could just introduce ourselves.
We are.
We are the Port of Bristol Shanty crew.
Hey.
Calls for applause, as usual, not a sausage. Our motto is the Port of Bristol Shanty crew, the triumph of enthusiasm over talent.
Every time.
Very enthusiastic.
And we have been supporting the Teenage Cancer Trust even since we started, which was barely 2 years ago, and we aim to raise £1,000, and we've now raised £30,000. People usually pay to stop singing, For goodness sake, stop, I'll give you a tenner. Oh, more than that. Anyway, we're going to sing a couple of songs. Yeah, Tracy?
Sing 2 songs or 1 song?
Go for 2.
Do one and then speeches.
Okay, right. I'm going to introduce you to my friend here. Here he is. He's come here. This is Nobby Dye, and although we formed the group 2 years ago, me and Nobby are great friends for over nearly 40 years now. Not old enough. Yeah, back with your father we met. I remember it well. It was a lovely day out, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, Nobby is, we've been singing shanty odd years, he's been singing them for longer, and in that time, nearly 40 years, he hasn't actually learned all the words yet. Okay? So, except for this one actually, yeah, South Australia.
In South Australia I was born.
Heave away, all away.
South Australia round Cape Horn.
We're bound for South Australia. All away, you rolling king. Heave away. We're bound for South Australia.
As I walked out one morning fair,
Heave away, all away.
there I met Miss Nancy Blair.
We're bound for South Australia. All away, you rolling king. Heave away, all away. All away,
Heave away, all away.
We danced around and around and round.
We're bound for South Australia. All away, you rolling kings. Heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
And as we walked along the strand,
Heave away, all away.
a bottle of whiskey in me hand.
We're bound for South Australia. All away, you rolling kings. Heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
And as we walloped round Cape Horn,
Heave away, all away.
I wish to God you'd never been born.
We're bound for South Australia. All away, you rolling kings. Heave away, all away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
Over to you.
Oh, another one.
Okay.
Still watching the speeches.
Right. Another song. It's called Captain Nipper or Good Ship Ragamuffin. Twas the 14th of September. Oh, well, I do remember. I nearly broke me poor old mother's heart. For I shipped with Captain Nipper on a big four-masted clipper and bore way down south to foreign parts.
And the wind began to blow, and the ship began to roll, and the devil of a hurricane did blow, hi-ho, and it nearly knocked the stuffing from the good ship Ragamuffin. We thought to the bottom we would go.
So we hoisted up the anchor and we set the jib and spanker. And the pilot took us to the harbour's mouth. And then from the tug we parted, and on the ball we started with a compass reading east nor west by south.
And the wind began to blow, and the ship began to roll, and the devil of a hurricane did blow, hi-ho, and it nearly knocked the stuffing from the good ship Ragamuffin. We thought to the bottom we would go. Do that after everything.
Then came a good stiff breeze, which made the old man sneeze. And carried away our full top gallant jib boom. I've got no idea what that is, right? But if your full top gallant jib boom gets blown away, it's pretty bloody serious. And for 7 days we bore it by running right before it, thinking we was on our way to doom.
And the wind began to blow, and the ship began to roll, and the devil of a hurricane did blow, hi-ho, and it nearly knocked the stuffing from the good ship Ragamuffin. We thought to the bottom we would go.
Then the captain came on deck. There's three of them. Then the captain came on deck. And he said, oh, blooming heck, and made every man put on his oilskin coat, for we've come to a decision, as we have plenty of provisions. He said, we'll make a record passage out.
And the wind began to blow, and the ship began to roll, and the devil of a hurricane did blow, hi-ho, and it nearly knocked the stuffing from the good ship Ragamuffin. We thought to the bottom we would go.
But the ship was quarterback, and the stage began to crack. And our lower foretop ganzel, was carried away. So we put the helm right over and headed back to Dover, and anchored safe and sound inside the bay.
And the wind began to blow, and the ship began to roll, and the devil of a hurricane did blow, aye-oh, and it nearly knocked the stuffing from the good ship Ragamuffin. We thought to the bottom we would go.
Oh, I just got 5 verses. Yeah. Let's start again.
I'm going to apologise in advance for reading, but I've been on call all weekend and I'm still on call now. So, good afternoon everybody and welcome to the TYA Unit's 10th birthday. I'm Rachel Dummett, I'm lead clinician for our service. And I can't quite believe we're 10 years down the line. I was on maternity leave when the unit opened, so I missed the grand opening, I missed Sarah. And I became involved when I returned, and they haven't been able to get rid of me since, really. The TYA unit has firmly put age and developmentally appropriate care for cancer patients on the agenda in both Bristol Haematology and Oncology Centre, in University Hospitals Bristol and Western Trust, but as a whole, but also as the principal treatment centre for the South West. Some of our patients and their families are a long way from home when they're here and travelling significant distances to access their care. We work alongside our TYA teams across the South West to ensure our patients can access the highest quality and safe care that they need, and this requires a lot of unseen work and coordination behind the scenes. But back to the unit. Like all things TYA, the last 10 years have been a real roller coaster. But we have definitely evolved and matured over that time. As a unit and a wider service, we've been subject to a number of challenges, not least a global pandemic, which meant we lost our unit altogether, and we reclaimed it, and hopefully it's bigger and better than it was before. But we've also seen changing age thresholds for location of care, which have added new challenges for us, which we've faced head on. We're very proud and protective of our unit, and as a team we frequently get into trouble because we're advocating for our patients to access the unit. And as professionals who work with TYA patients, we want to make the system think differently, and we're a determined bunch. We always want more for our patients, more beds, more staff, more clinical trials, and I look forward to the next 10 years as we continue to chip away and strive for greater things for the young people of the southwest of England that we're here to support. I want to thank everyone who helps us to make this possible, both within the NHS and beyond, and for the ongoing support that we receive from the Teenage Cancer Trust, without whom we would not be here today. So thank you all very much for coming, and enjoy the birthday celebrations. And I'll hand over to Kate.
I'll stand next to you because I'm aware it's amazing how much the distance you can create around yourself when you either start singing or start singing. And we've got a huge man. Please do feel very welcome. Do come in. We've got 2 people in the corridor out there. Don't worry, you don't have to make a speech. It doesn't go around. I'm Kate, and I am the Chief Executive of Teenage Cancer Trust. It is a job I'm incredibly fortunate to have. Having a job that you love is a real blessing in life. I've been Chief Exec for 6 years, but I've been part of Teenage Cancer Trust for 15 years. I know that's hard to believe. I was incredibly young when I was young. But I actually joined the regional fundraising team at Teenage Cancer Trust when I joined in 2009. And there was lots of talk then about how there was going to be a unit in Bristol. And I can remember the appeal starting to raise funds for this unit, and I can remember everything along the way, and it is my absolute privilege to be here with you celebrating a remarkable landmark. I cannot quite believe that it's 10 years since the unit opened. And there are so many things to say thank you for. There are so many things to celebrate and so many people to remember, and just a few of us are here today to do that. So So to make it easy, I think there are three main things to say thank you for, to celebrate, and to remember. First, let's say thank you and celebrate everybody who was involved before there was this remarkable unit here. Everyone who led and launched the appeal that made it happen, the young people themselves who were involved, who were tireless in making sure that their voices were heard and that their needs would be met through this new unit, and the clinicians and nurses who themselves were tireless, determined in their drive to make sure young people with cancer and their families didn't face it alone. Because there was a service a long time before there was a unit here in the Southwest. But let's celebrate that decade of drive, determination and commitment. The expert care and the innovation across the Southwest that has followed with the outreach work happening across the Southwest. And third, let's say thank you and celebrate everything that's happening right now in this incredibly powerful, effective and very important service for young people with cancer and their families. And let's be a little bit cheeky and say thank you in advance for everything that is yet to come, because there is so much more to strive for. This is not job done, this is not 10 years cake, great, tick. There is so much more to do for young people with cancer, and we're as determined and driven as everyone here to make sure that happens. So I want to thank everyone who makes the work of this TYA service so special and everyone who makes it happen. I want to thank all of the fundraisers and supporters. That £30,000 is remarkably needed and so appreciated. Every penny that you give to Teenage Cancer Trust helps make our work possible, because we rely on donations to make it happen. And thank you to everyone who's done so much and will continue to do so much for young people with cancer, not just across the Southwest, but across the UK. So I'm actually going to finish with a small quote, which I really, really love, and I think really sums up the power of what happens here. And it's from someone called Margaret Mead, who is an anthropologist, which means they're much smarter than me, basically. And Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And everything that happens here is really about making change happen for the better, and it is massively appreciated. So thank you very much, and thank you for not making me sing, because nobody is. Thank you very much.
Crew have a little surprise apparently, even I don't know about this. So.
And the crew don't either.
Oh, the crew don't?
No.
Okay, so it's a complete surprise for everybody.
I'll stand here to this, so I can see everyone. I was talking with Doc this morning, John Hayes, who is one of the crew and can't be here because he's working, he's a GP, as you know. And I put together something and I said, I'd like to do this for the crew, to the Teenage Cancer Trust, for the 2 years that we've been working to raise funds for it. It's just a simple little presentation. I'll show the crew first of all. Ooh. On behalf of the Teenage, not on behalf of the Teenage Cancer, on behalf of the Port of Bristol Shanty crew, I would like to present you with this little framed certificate in appreciation of much from you.
Amazing.
Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you.
Ahoy me shipmates, you're listening to Shipshape and Bristol Fashion.
How are you both? You good?
Four of us are here now.
Yeah,
we're having a great time actually. Thanks, Justin.
We've done a couple of songs so far. They seem to be very receptive.
Yeah, we locked the doors.
Yeah, they can't run away. It's the best
They all
way.
tried to get as far away as possible. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did see
They
that.
were lining the far wall.
And you were chasing them.
I was getting closer and closer.
We didn't know if we should follow you.
I know.
Well, isn't it amazing that we can celebrate with them on their 10th anniversary, but of course on our celebration that we've managed to fundraise over £30,000.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's really good.
Yeah, to come down here to see the sort of thing that our money can help with.
Yeah.
A special unit for all young people in the southwest of England who are
sadly battling cancer.
I know, it's horrible.
But the atmosphere of the place, you'd imagine it would be downbeat, but it's not.
No.
There's a real sort of upbeat, positive spirit here.
Yeah, there is.
The adults that are working here are absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it makes it all worthwhile.
Oh, good. Now, Chuffo, have you got any songs that you're going to sing after the red cake? Have you got any solos you're going for?
I think the Rev is still deciding what the set list is going to be. So there may be one.
Watch this space.
Yeah, it depends on how the audience are, shall we say, interacting with us.
Yes.
We have to be mindful that perhaps a few sea shanty songs being working songs might not be appropriate.
Yeah, I have to say that Nobby did very well at reconstructing a song there earlier. That was good.
Yes, that explains the repetition of a couple of words which were unexpected for us.
Yeah.
But obviously we're moving on one of the words which perhaps would have been better in the pub or on board ship.
Yes.
Mind you, we're quite used to having unexpected words in Nobby's songs, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it wasn't too much of a surprise.
He's written so many, he can't remember them all though.
Apparently. Bless him.
Bless him. We gotta love him. Well, there's tea and there's coffee and there's cake, so let's go and enjoy that, shall we?
I think we should. Thanks,
But I
Justin.
thought I'd better speak to the important people that are part of the Teenage Cancer Trust, and I'm sitting down with a young lady. Do you want to introduce yourself?
So thank you very much for having me. I'm Tracy Burns and I'm the Senior Relationship Manager for the Southwest for Teenage Cancer Trust. So in basic terms, I'm the fundraiser and I look after all of our fantastic supporters across the Southwest.
Well, fundraising is so important for the charity, isn't it? It makes things happen. It enhances the care of the children that come through the teenage units. What a journey the Port of Bristol Shanty Crew have had so far.
Huge. So I first got introduced to the Port of Bristol Shanty Crew about 2 years ago.
Okay.
They a young lad called Harry. They wanted to do a bit of fundraising to support him.
Yeah.
So they came to us and said they were going to raise £1,000 and they were going to do a few gigs.
Nice.
And I was like, brilliant. Like, tell me all about it.
Yeah.
A bit of a sing-song. I love it. So we started off 2 years ago, like I said, and it just went from one extreme to the other. They came to Bristol Balloon Fiesta and they sang on the bandstand for us. They are coming to Valley Fest with us in August. But yeah, it's just gone from one extreme to the other with them, and every time the total of the target goes up and up and up, and we cannot thank them enough. They've been an absolute dream to work with.
And at this point in recording, I think we've raised just over £30,000. This is an episode that's going out in August, so I'm hoping there'll be a bit more in there again. What kind of things does that money get put towards? You know, there's obviously many different aspects of cancer treatment, but...
So it costs £30 an hour to fund one of our specialist nurses.
Okay.
So the money that the Shanty Crew have raised can go from anything to paying for hourly for the nurses. It can go to paying for YSCs, which are Youth Support Coordinators.
Okay.
We have one here on the Bristol unit. And they work with young people and they do workshops. And they really encourage the young people to come out themselves and socialise and just be normal, because cancer turns our world upside down. And what the YSCs and the nurses try to do, young person first, cancer second.
And I'm sitting in what is an incredible unit. The Teenage Cancer Trust clearly support this unit within UH Bristol and Weston's campus here. And we know that cancer isn't new, it's been around for a long time. And I know the teenagers before had to kind of make do with what could be provided. But right now I'm sitting in an incredible place. Tell us about this.
So this is in the Oncology and Haematology Centre in Bristol. It's on the 6th floor and it's called Area 61.
Okay.
And it's a unit of 5 private bathroomed units.
Okay.
So young people have their own space. It's got a chat room. We're sat in the gaming room at the moment, so it's got the gaming room. Next door, where you can probably hear all the noise,
it's a lot of noise,
is where it's kind of like the social space. And what's really important, there's things like a kitchen. So all our units have a kitchen.
Okay.
Something that sounds pretty simple, but if you were on a ward, you wouldn't have a kitchen. But this helps young people just be themselves. They can eat what they want when they want. The units are 24/7.
Okay.
So if a young person wanted a friend to come in for pizza at 10 o'clock at night, that's fine. So it's all
good.
about being a teenager first.
And making it as normal as possible, isn't
Trying
it?
to make it as normal as possible for the young person, but also their families.
So good. It's like a teenage heaven. There's Xboxes, there's exercise machines, the big social part. It's just open. It's a big space. It's lovely. I'd love to come here and visit people. It's so lovely.
So there's a pool table, there's table football, there's jukeboxes. It's an absolutely wonderful space for young people. And our unit, this unit is 10 years old.
Yeah.
We've got 28 units across the UK.
Wow.
The first unit was opened in 1989. The first unit was open, and these just create an environment really just for the young people to be themselves. But prior to the units actually being built, a young person, depending on their age, so obviously we're 13 to 24-year-olds.
Okay.
So under 16s would be treated in a children's ward.
Yeah.
And over 16s were generally treated in an adult ward.
Okay.
So you can imagine being
polars, aren't they? Polar opposites.
16, 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And you are on adult ward, and you're next to Bob with his stripy pajamas on in his 80s.
Yeah. Dealing with his own cancer.
Not much fun. Or it can go the other way where you'd be a 14-year-old scared young person.
Yes.
And being treated in the children's ward with 6-year-olds.
Yes. And all the noise that comes with that.
So there's a real specialised sort of age, and that's what we do. We help them through it.
And people travel from all over the region to come here, don't they?
They do.
It's not just Bristol people, is it?
No. So in the southwest, we're really lucky. We've got the unit here in Bristol, and then we've got outreach nurses across designated hospitals. So we reach as far down as Cornwall.
Nice.
We've got nurses in Plymouth, in Exeter, in Taunton, in Gloucester. So we've got quite a network of specialised nurses that will, do the Teenage Cancer Trust way and help young people through their treatment if they're being treated from home, from a designated hospital. Or we've got, like today, we've got young people here from Cornwall who are staying on the ward.
And that's also equally as lovely, isn't it? Where we've talked about how we're in a space that feels like home, and they've got independence, which is so important to these young people. But literally a stone's throw away, you're in an incredibly clinical environment where they can really get kind of advanced cancer treatment.
They can. The Bristol Hospital, BRI, and everything with the Oncology and Haematology Centre is an absolutely amazing centre.
Yeah.
And for us to have this space, fully funded by Teenage Cancer Trust, to have this space is just absolutely incredible. To come walk in, every time I walk in, has a piece of my heart.
Yeah. Must be so proud being a fundraiser.
Very proud.
Worth standing with those buckets in the rain and shine to know that the money's being spent on fantastic facilities like this.
And just speaking to the families, you've used the unit, and so speaking to them, and like yourselves, we've had many families be supporters and fundraise for us and raise thousands.
So good.
But absolutely brilliant, and it's such a beautiful space for young people.
Well, thank you for everything you do. We're hoping to continue our relationship and raise even more money to build into this world. And I think we need to go out and about and just see what everyone else is doing in the social side, because it's very loud out there in a minute, isn't it?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
We're going to do certain songs. In fact, we have a request. We're going to keep singing anyway. And we're going to start off with my mate Ash. Even though he's a football referee, we still like him. We do like him.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
And the song is called. This song.
Don't worry, we'll sing. Okay, we'll sing. Just carry on.
Okay. Off you go.
I thought I heard the old man sing, John can act a July. Today's a holiday. John can act a July. July, oh July. John Kanaka-too-I-A. We're outward bound at break of day. John Kanaka-too-I-A. We're outward bound for Frisco Bay. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. Oh, too-I-A. John Kanaka-too-I-A. We're outward bound around Cape Horn. John Kanaka-too-I-A. You wish to God you'd never been born. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. Oh, too-I-A. John Kanaka-too-I-A. We're a Bristol ship and a Bristol crew. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Their city red. We're gas and blue. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. Oh, too-I-A. John Kanaka-too-I-A. When I get to Frisco Bay, John Kanaka-too-I-A. We'll bail off ship and draw our pay. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. Oh, too-I-A. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Just one more verse and then we're through. John Kanaka-too-I-A. 'Cause we're the Port of Bristol Shanty Crew. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. Oh! Too-I-A. John Kanaka-too-I-A. Too-I-A. John
Okay, one more, and you've got to listen carefully now, because what I'd like is a chorus you can join in, right, with action and singing. So what I'd like you to do, if it's possible, you could clench your fist.
Right fist.
Okay. Could be right fist or the other. Or both. Right, it's up to you. And the chorus goes like this. Okay. So it's all part of being a pirate.
A pirate! A pirate! Not very good, are they?
Let's just practice that. It's all part of being a pirate.
A pirate! A pirate!
Well done. Now, this is going to be sung by Chuffer with a special hat. See, you see his pirate hat? Now, Chuffer tends to do that at the wrong time. Well, the right time for him, but the wrong time for you. So, look at the rest of us. Off you go, Chuff.
All of it, yeah. Oh, being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses an arm. Makes you pull faces.
Hurts like the blazes.
It hurts like the blazes. You can't let your mate see you cry. Another black patch will cover that patch and make sure that socket stays dry. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses an arm.
Here we go.
It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses an ear. Pardon? What? Sorry. It rolls down your neck, it lies on the deck, when hopefully somebody says, "What's that here?" Wear your glasses, you don't pull the lasses, your mates have to shout, so you... Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a ear. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. can't be a pirate with all of your parts. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a hand. Ooh. It spurts and it squirts and it blooming well hurts. Hey, only a pirate can stand.
Yes, my son.
Now, fashionable look is a nice shiny hood, but then you can't play in a band. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a hand. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a leg. Ooh. It hurts like a dickens. Your pace never quickens because you're hopping about on a peg. Now you never get married. It's too long you've tarried. And now you can't kneel down and beg. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a leg. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts.
Go for it, go for it.
Go for it now.
Being a pirate is all fun and games.
Being a pirate.
Somebody loses a what's it? You didn't choose it, but you don't want to lose it. You're hoping that somebody spots it. But I'm not going to pick that up. When the pot comes along and he sews it back on, or he stretches it tight and he knots it. That's a little bit too tight, though. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a what's it. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a head. Bitterly. Holes with a thud. That's better. It's covered in blood.
Put the whole back.
Yeah.
Sticky and red.
Oh, 10 grand.
You can't comb your hair because your head's over there. Besides that, you're probably dead. Being a pirate is all fun and games till somebody loses a head. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your parts. It's all part of being a pirate, a pirate, a pirate. You can't be a pirate with all of your
So I'm now sitting with Kate Collins, who is the Chief Exec of the Teenage Cancer Trust. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And what an amazing event it's been so far.
Oh, it's been so much fun. It's a shame it's on a podcast. You can't see the size of the smiles on everybody's faces, but you can probably hear it in our voices. Lovely event.
So
Lovely.
good, and I'm very confident if you pop over to our own social media site, and of course there's probably going to be a lot of press around what's been going on, you'll see it in all its glory. It isn't just tea and cake and coffee and singing, but there's a serious component to all of this, isn't it? And that is celebrating that this place has been 10 years old, of course, but also the amazing work that you represent with Teenage Cancer Trust. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Teenage Cancer Trust was set up fundamentally to make sure young people didn't face cancer alone.
Yeah.
So before Teenage Cancer Trust existed, before the very first Teenage Cancer Trust ward opened in 1990, young people would have their treatment either be treated as almost like a big child on a paediatric ward, or like a small adult on an adult ward. And the founders of Teenage Cancer Trust, Adrian and Myrna Whiteson, a husband and wife team, suddenly realised that actually this wasn't the right place for young people to be treated, and actually something should be done. and the first Teenage Cancer Trust unit in London came into being, and they thought, great, well, we've fixed that.
Yeah, done that now.
Done that.
Yeah.
Tick off the to-do list. We've sorted it.
Nice.
And here we are now with 28 units across the UK.
28 units, which of course is phenomenal. It means that the reach is as wide as you possibly can, I guess, for the young people to come through. But it doesn't just happen. Of course, it's the fundraising, it's the money, it's the charity that you represent that feeds into all of that to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And every single thing that Teenage Cancer Trust does is funded by donations. So we don't get any funding from the government or from statutory sources. We don't have any contracts to deliver what we do. So we work in partnership with the NHS. We generate the funds to set up units just like this one, but also to fund specialist staff. So Teenage Cancer Trust nurses, Teenage Cancer Trust youth workers who understand what it's like to be young and have cancer and help young people really be young people first and put their cancer second. So we've got around 120 specialist staff across the UK working in the NHS, making sure young people and their families and their friends can navigate cancer in the best way for them.
Definitely. And as I mentioned before, it's a great venue that's here, 10 years old now. I mean, cancer isn't new. Of course, young people before had to kind of suffer in trying to find the right space where to go, and this provides everything that they need. That escapism, the kitchen, we've mentioned that before, but of course, literally a stone's throw away from the NHS bubble, which is providing amazing care.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was talking before to Jo, whose daughter Ella, who sadly died as a result of her cancer, but Ella actually was one of the young people who spoke at the appeal launch right back in the day to raise the money to make this work happen. And Jo was talking to me about how Ella, having her treatment before the unit was in existence, would feel really lost. Like people were like, oh, where is she? Where is she in the hospital? You know, young people can so easily fall through the cracks in a system that's not designed for them. So yeah, it's about bringing young people together. And the people who are the best experts in what it's like to be young and have cancer are not people like me with big shiny job titles, not actually nurses, not actually the clinicians. It's young people themselves who actually are able to get together and kind of understand where someone else might be in their experience and which part of their experience they might be able to share with somebody else.
I think the good news is that more people survive cancer than they die of cancer, but of course that is the sad truth, that sometimes they're not so successful. But it's great to hear that even though the outcome wasn't great for people that you've dealt with really early on, that they felt that they've contributed to the kind of foundations of this space.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a quote I love, which is, you know, somebody sits in the shade today because somebody planted a tree all those years ago. And I think nothing is truer than the work of Teenage Cancer Trust. There are young people, there are families who went through cancer without our support, but were tireless in their fundraising to make sure that the young people and families that came after them were able to have better specialist support. And we know, so today in the UK, around 7 young people will be diagnosed with cancer every day. 7 young people are diagnosed. And we know that by about 2030, that will rise to around 10 a day. Wow. So the need is not stopping. No. Cancer is still occurring for young people. And although around 80% of young people will survive cancer, it casts an enormously long shadow over the rest of your life, because you should have a long life ahead of you.
Of course.
From kind of 16, 17 onwards. But actually the impact of cancer can be hugely traumatic mentally and physically. So being able to get the right support when you are at such a tipping point age. I can remember being 16, 17, 18, you know, I really didn't know who I was, who I wanted to be. You put cancer into that mix where you're working out who you are, and actually it can be enormously traumatic. So making sure there's specialist support is really the thing that puts fire in our belly to make sure young people don't face that alone.
And I love it. It's people are so enthusiastic about it. You know, even just being here today, there's the multidisciplinary approach, not only from the charity but also from the NHS, all come together, working together. It is phenomenal. And of course, you've got the other factor. It's not just a single patient here. You've got the family to contend with as well, and they need to come together and be supported by your charity.
Absolutely, and the friends, because when you're a young person, I'm the mum of a 16-year-old, a luckily very healthy 16-year-old, but he is at the point where actually he kind of wants less to do with us because we're old and not particularly cool.
Yeah.
So really, I'm with it. I'm rolling with that. I can cope. And actually, it's about starting to spend time with his friends. And I can remember a visit I did to one of our other units, and there was a young man going through treatment, and his best mate was a doorman at a nightclub. That was his job.
Okay.
And before this young man had cancer, what his mate used to do was kind of he'd come off his shift as a doorman in a nightclub and would go around to his mate's house with a pizza, probably about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Nice sociable time.
Yeah, well, that's when teenagers are at their most, aren't they?
Well, it's definitely not when I am.
No,
but,
those days are long gone.
Exactly, long gone. But actually, what the unit had set up for this young man was that was still what happened. So around 3:00 in the morning, this young man's mate would show up and he'd have the pizza, and they would do the things that they normally did. They were not letting cancer get in the way.
That's
and
so good.
I think it is absolutely about young people. It's about their family.
Yeah.
And we know one of the things that's most important to young people is making sure they know their family are supported.
Yes.
That's one of the things that's really key. But also friends. You know, you go through this as a young adult, you don't know how to have that conversation.
No.
How do we talk about this? How do we navigate this?
It's stuff you see on the telly, you don't live it, do you? And now they are.
It's stuff that happens to old people.
Of course, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I can remember talking at an event with a young man called Josh, and he talked about, he said, I got diagnosed, I was on adult ward. He said, I was next to like ancient people, like people who were like 40, and I was like, hey Josh, do you want to lift that ancient definition a bit? But it's a whole world away.
Yeah,
20s, sometimes 60 years older, and actually being able to spend time with someone else who actually understands what life looks like when you're in your late teens, early 20s, as opposed to somebody who remembers it from quite a long time ago, like I would, is so important.
So good. What's life like being a chief exec of a huge organisation that is this?
So, well, it's full of life and heart, actually. My job is all about people and conversations and joining the dots and helping not just young people be the best they can be, but help my team be the best they can be. That said, it's pretty tough at the moment because everything we do is funded by donations, and this is an astonishingly tough climate to raise money in because we've all got less money in our pockets.
No, definitely.
Everything costs more, and it's really, really challenging to make sure we can keep raising the money every day to make sure that young people have got that specialist care right from when they need it all the way through treatment and beyond. So, but I love it. My job is full of the best of people like yourself, people like, today's been full of like big smiles, lots of songs, lots of heart, and sometimes I think if you watch the news cycle too much, you can forget how brilliant human beings can be. And actually being able to lead an organisation like Teenage Cancer Trust is actually about remembering all the great bits about humanity, all the often off-the-wall, quirky, humorous, enthusiastic, how are we having this conversation, where are we here? I think that's what life's all about. So I find it definitely fills my days, but I'm very lucky to have a job I love.
Well, Kay, on behalf of the Port of Bristol Shanley crew, thank you for everything you do. We plan to continue to raise more money so you can carry on doing what you do so well with your team, and we'll talk soon another time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's it for this month's episode. And like I said, if you are able to, then please do pop over to pobshantycrew.co.uk, click on the donate here, and if you're able to give as little or as much money as you possibly can, we would massively welcome it, and we will ensure that all of that goes towards the Teenage Cancer Trust. So have a great summer holiday. We will see you in September. Please do pop over to our Facebook page to catch up with what we're up to during the summer period. And if you plan to come and pop over and see us and support us, then please do. That is the perfect space to find that. Until then, fair winds and following seas, and take care.
Shipshape and Bristol fashion boys along the harbour side, from Even Gorge to Underford.